In this episode, we go car shopping at Copart Newbury. Hey everybody, and welcome to today's episode. If this is the first time that you're seeing this, don't forget to subscribe, like and share below. Much appreciated. So if you saw last week's episode, we set a challenge, and the challenge was that I was going to buy a Fiat 500 from free that I was watching on an auction at Newbury Copart site, and one of those cars I was going to buy, and then we're going to try and repair that car without having to go to the body shop. So I showed you 3 pictures of the cars last week. We're going to now take a look at the cars in detail. Let's see if we can pick up any telltale signs or any reason why we wouldn't look at purchasing any of those cars. So let's take a look at our first car. Okay, so our first car, if we take a look at the screen now, is a Fiat 500 Lounge. So it's a 2010 model. The Lounge is the model with the glass roof. Okay, so let's just take a look at these pictures now. So on the surface, the car looks fine. There's actually no dents on the car whatsoever. So that's interesting. So this car doesn't need any painting at all. But looking at the picture, you can see these little marks which are done by the body shop. So this car has had a little knock, and what's happened is the body shop has walked around each of those marks and marked them out. So that means that this car has either got little dings or dents in it, or so it's definitely got marks that warrant it to want to be painted. So I'm not sure whether this car will fit our profile, but let's take a look at the video and let's see what we can discover when we go and see the car in the flesh. Okay, so let's take a look at the car. So as you can see in the pictures, there are marks all over this car. So each of those, there is a scratch. That's what each of those signs are showing. So it's either a scratch or a little dent. So there's a little pin mark there, supermarket trolley mark there, a little scratch there. The interior is quite nice. So it's a white interior. Seats are a little dirty, but that's fine, no problem there. Let's take a look at the under the bonnet in a second. But yeah, just looking at the roof liner, making sure everything is in place there. The car's quite nice actually. Now the bonnet has a dent in it, so there's a dent on the front. You can barely see it there. I'm just checking the legs, so the right leg is fine and the left leg is fine. Just want to check to make sure there's no previous accident damage as to why the front bumper was loose. That's the reason why I'm checking that. There's a little pin mark there that will need to be sorted. A scratch there at the back. I mean, you can get away with those kind of scratches because you can just put it down to wear and tear. I'm just checking the back to see if there's any interior damage, and the wheels are in there, and the jack kit. Again, walking around. So yep, more scratches there. Making sure no airbags are deployed. Nope, the lower one is fine. Okay, so this is where we go and see if the car will start. That's always important. We want to make sure that there's no lights. Yep, so the car starts fine, and there are no dash lights or no warning lights. The triangle, if you're wondering what that is, the yellow exclamation mark in the triangle is just telling me that the bonnet's open. That's why that comes up. But other than that, car looks okay. There's some more dings on the A pillar. Lots of marks on the bonnet. The front bumper is all cracked as well. And so is the trim, the chrome trim, which is really plastic. That's all chipping away. It's a 2010 car, so you can't expect much for that. So that car, I decided that would be my third choice car if I was going to go for any other car, because that car needs some paint correction done on it, so it needs a smart repair. So that really wouldn't qualify for what we're trying to achieve in this exercise. So that is going to be my number 3 choice in all the cars that I go for. So let's take a look at the next Fiat. Okay, so looking at the screen now, car number 2 is a 2012 Fiat 500 Pop. So that's the base model. It's done about 76,000 miles, as can be seen here. Let's take a look at these pictures now. So the front is perfect, no issues there whatsoever, which is good to see. We'll come back to that side, no problems there whatsoever. Let's do a HD picture, and we can see that the car is in pretty good condition. Now obviously here we see that the bumper is damaged, and it's a little bit difficult to see in this picture, but what we need to figure out is whether there's any damage on this rear section here. Now looking at the picture in HD, it does look like there is some damage there. Now if there is any damage, that will disqualify this car straight away, because we're trying to repair this car without actually having any paint work that needs to be done. If this bit here is damaged, not only is it going to need some straightening and body filling, it's then going to need to be painted after. So that's a little bit of a worrying sign that there. Other than that, the interior is quite bright. Engine is fine. We can see in this picture the car is started and there's no lights, no warning lights that we can see. Oh, here's a better picture here. So that definitely looks like it's got some, yeah, you can see it. So the paint has peeled there. So this car is probably going to be my number 3 car. So number 2 was the first one, the 2010. This would be my 3rd choice car now, just because of that damage. But do you know what? Pictures tell 1,000 words, but not enough for us to make a commitment to buy with full knowledge. So we need to see the car in the flesh, really. Here we see that it needs a door handle too, but that's easy, not really worried about that. Good, okay, so let's take a look at this car in the flesh and see what it was like. Okay, so looking at the screen, we can see that the car is, as we saw in the pictures, it's a little bit cleaner, so it's been washed, or the rain certainly washed, so we can see that that door handle was gone. Let's take a look at this damage. Yeah, so as we suspected, this damage here needs body work. It's actually worse than what it looked like in the picture, and that's why it's so important to see these cars in the flesh so you can check them out. At least the wiring is there for the headlights. Let's take a look inside. It's got the damaged headlight, that's useless because the glass is gone on it, so we would have to replace that anyway. The spare wheel is there, no damage in the back of the car, just to make sure it's not been pushed in. That's fine. Let's do another bit of walking around. Okay, there's a hubcap in there. That's definitely a popular model, the base model. Interior is quite clean actually in this car. It was quite a nice car inside. It wouldn't take much to get that fixed up when you think about the damage that that car has obtained, and there's nothing in the front. The front is perfect. It's got some marks on it, but they will come out with a polisher. So it's a shame about the dent really, because if it didn't have that dent, this would be a perfect candidate, but because of the dent, this car has to be my 3rd choice car. Okay, so let's take a look at car number 3. So hopefully this is the car that we're going to be looking at, although when you look at it in the first instance, you may not think that to be the case. Okay, so here we go. So car number 3 has got some fire damage. Now if you look at this picture, it looks pretty bad, doesn't it? Whatever has happened here has completely melted away. The wing here is all burnt. The bonnet is burnt. The front is just looks like paper, doesn't it? Paper mache. So yeah, that looks pretty bad, doesn't it? So let's just take a look at this picture here. Car looks okay, actually looks pretty okay from this side. It's a twin air model as well, by the way, a 2012 twin air car. It's done about 75,000 miles. This picture here, absolutely fine, no problems here at all, no problems on this picture. Interior looks okay, so that's a twin air interior, I'm familiar with that. My wife used to have a twin air. So really, it's about this here. Now, there's a couple of things that you need to be really worried about when it comes to cars that have had fire damage. Number one, if the smoke ingestion has got inside of the vehicle, it's going to be nigh on impossible to get rid of the smell, because the smoke is carcinogenic, so it gets into all the components and it's quite pungent. You can't get rid of it, so no matter how much you freshen it, it will always be there. So your only way to get rid of the smoke is to get rid of the smoke damage material. So if it's in a dash, you're going to strip the dash, get rid of it, replace it, and that's the only way you can do it, really. So I imagine that this is going to put a lot of people off, because unless they come and see the car in the flesh, you have to check to make sure if there's any smell of burn in the car. And actually, when you look at the damage of the car, I don't think the car itself caught fire. I think that this car has been near a vehicle or some kind of object that has caught fire, and that's the reason why we're seeing the burns here. So if you look at the burn of the car overall, it's definitely from an external source. It's not from the car. I would expect if it was from the car, it will either be in the engine bay, and if you saw the engine bay of this car, let's take a look at the picture. This engine bay looks really clean. In fact, the car itself looks really well looked after, other than the fact that it's had this scorching. So let's take a look at this car in the flesh and see if it's our car that we're going to go for. Okay, so here's our car in the flesh. There you go. That's just melted plastic. It looks like paper, but it's melted, and that blob is actually the daylight running light. So that's what that was. There's nothing else wrong. And the inner shield is also melted, along with the tire and anything on the outside. Now, this is the big test. Does the car smell of smoke? Nope, it does not. This car is clean inside. There's no smell of smoke. So that confirms that this fire was definitely from the outside. So now we're just going to walk around the car and just look for any general damage that we need to be aware of. Everything looks fine. There is a little pinhole here, but it's not too bad, and I think I could suck that out. I've got a repair kit, and I reckon I can repair that. You'll see me doing that if we win this car. Looking at this side, inside here, that's the airbag. That's the knee airbag. That's not deployed, but it's definitely not in place. So I need to take a look and see why that's come out like that. It could be just that the panel has been pulled, but difficult to tell at this stage. Okay, now here's a big thing. Will the car start? And if it starts, will it have any airbags? Let's get the car started. There you go, perfect. No lights on. We got our pink exclamation mark, but that's because the bonnet is open. So we're happy with that. This car functions and works fine with no warning lights. So really, the damage is limited to that area there. Just going to check to open the bonnet. I want to see if there's any damage into the bonnet that we haven't seen in the photo. Let's get the door, the bonnet open, and she is clean. Look at that, absolutely no damage whatsoever. It's a really clean engine bay actually, and this area here, there's nothing. So it's literally just external damage that this car has picked up. So quite an easy fix as far as I'm concerned. There's a little bit of, you could probably see some damage on the door the door has just started to brown off, but that's fine. I'm okay with that, because I think I should be able to cut that, get that cut with a polisher. The tyre is obviously melted, so we need to replace the tyre. Headlight is gone, front bumper's gone, the wing and the bonnet. That really is the damage that we need to do. Oh, and the windscreen's got a crack in it, as you can see here. So those are the parts that need to be replaced in this car. Nothing really of concern, quite light damage really. So that's the car that I'm going to bid on. So let's take a look now and see the auction, and let's see if I win this car.
Sold.
Right, now my maximum bid is going to be £900. I'm going to bid now. Here we go. So that's £700. Actually, my maximum bid is £1,000. So I'm going to bid now. Oh, I've been outbidded. Let's do it again. I'm winning. Come on, don't bid now. Okay. I'm going to wait till it gets right to the top just to play this guy, and I'm going to bid now. Right, don't bid. It's going to go bonus time, isn't it?
Bonus time.
Oh, I hate bonus time. Hopefully it'll just be the one. Come on, don't bid. Yes, won the car. Brilliant. Okay, so that's it then. We won that car, so that's mine now. So well pleased with that. It actually went cheaper than I thought it was, and I reckon that a lot of people were scared off by the fact that the car had fire damage on it. So they either never went to see it and made an assumption that the car was burning inside, because that went for cheaper than I thought it was going to go there. So anyway, I'm really pleased with that. So I just got to pay for it now, and I estimate the cost, and I'll show you the cost when I get the car down. We'll do a breakdown like we did with the Corsa, and you'll be able to see that. Good. So that's great news. So the next thing I need to do is obviously check the parts. And I'm going to do a breakdown in our next video. When we get the car, we're going to do a complete strip down of all the damaged parts. Then we're going to go online to find the parts that we need to get, and then we should be able to purchase those and then compare the difference. Now, I've already got a preliminary cost to paint the car if I was going down that route, and the cost that I was given was for around £450 to £500. That's to paint the bonnet and the wing, and to blend in a new front bumper if I didn't get one of the new the same color. If I do get one of the same color, or I don't, then it's going to cost more. So we'll do a cost comparison between the two, and let's see how that works out. So great news, we won the car. Like I said, we were going to take one car, and if that wasn't the one, then I'd have to bid on the other ones, but that one came up first. Okay, so that's all for this week. I hope you've enjoyed this video, so don't forget to subscribe down below, and please, I enjoy your comments, so keep the comments coming, and we look forward to seeing you next week when we will be looking at the car. So we'll be taking a first look at the 500, and we'll also be looking at the Corsa, just getting the Corsa ready for sale, because that's going to come back as well. So that's two cars we need to get ready and prepared. So busy couple of weeks coming up. One quick thing before we go, we now have our Cars for Paul's Amazon store, which is now live. If you look up on the screen now, all the things that we use in the vlog are available for you to purchase on Amazon in one place. So just check out the link below, and it will take you to our store, and you can buy anything you need that you see me use on the vlog for your own personal use. And also we have our own merch. Yes, that's right, the t-shirt. We have that's now live as well. Again, the link is below. If you like this t-shirt and you want to be part of the crew, then feel free to purchase on our T store. So that's it for this week. I'm going to let you go, and like I said, we will see you on Monday.